I can't hear anybody. So I'm going to be talking. And then when you talk, just kind of, he'll give me a signal. It's going to be all janky. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So Jordan, are you on mute? Okay. Hello, Jen.
Hello.
How are things back in Texas?
Hot.
So we're in Las Vegas for the nightclub and bar show. And this is both our first time to travel, Jordan and I, in over a year since COVID. And it's packed. The airplane was packed. This hotel is packed. We're at the Wynn. It looks like a lot of non-business people so far. And it's just people are getting the move on. So before we get into the big beer news of the day, there's something I gotta bring up. And can we talk about the Subway tuna sandwich for a second?
Oh God.
I mean, I've been eating Subway tuna sandwiches for 10 years, and there's no tuna in it. There's no tuna. There's zero tuna DNA in that sandwich, which leads me to wonder, what is in there? What is in there? So that's the first thing. And then the CEO of Subway has been sleeping with all his franchisees' wives. And then, their spokesman turned out to be a pedophile. I mean, can things when I think of the challenges our company goes through, we can always say, at least we're not Subway selling fake tuna and being pedophiles and cuckolding the wives of my customers. It's basically what he's doing. The people who pay him, the franchisees, he's been going around catting around with their wives. I don't understand. The second thing I want to talk about is John McAfee. Was John McAfee murdered in Spain? I
am not knowledgeable enough to make a
no comment.
Yeah.
The one flaw, so Jordan's sitting next to me and we're sharing a mic, but not a screen. The one flaw in this, Jordan, is that you're on mute. And so your screen, nobody's going to ever see you because it's always going to come through my mic.
I see him.
All right. Let's talk about the day's news. Brendan Whitworth promoted Anheuser-Busch zone president and CEO for North America, CEO of the United States. And the one thing that I think, Jen, you saw the responses we've gotten all day today about it from AB distributors, mostly favorable. But the one thing is that it's a surprise, but not a surprise. Yeah, a lot of move on. I was going through the emails, and it just seems everybody was surprised, but then not surprised. And when I talk to industry people too, and why would they be surprised? Well, first of all, because I think a lot of people thought, which has historically been true, that they bring a global CEO into that position, usually a Brazilian, right? Or always a Brazilian, except for, I guess, Dave Peacock. So that's a break. And they don't normally promote from within the U.S. For that position. So both those things are different. And I think, the distributors that we talked to today are seem to be happy about that. Happy that there's a homegrown, somebody who's been in the system. In other words, the transition is not going to be as tough. The learning curve is non-existent, basically, and he can just carry on what Michelle started and the successes he's built upon. And the only kind of a thing is that Brendan's arrogant, and well, I've been accused of that too before. So Jen, what do you think about it?
Yeah, so you're right. We probably
put myself on mute. Hold on.
We pinged a few handfuls of distributors, and it was like 90% at least. They're very supportive of it. They were a little surprised, like you said. I heard it was a very tightly guarded secret until the last minute this morning within the organization, that even some people at AB were a little surprised just because they did not know the news. But yeah, everything you said, basically, a big theme was continuity, that Michelle and Brendan were in lockstep, right? And so again, like you were saying, it's not going to be this sea change when he takes the helm, right? So yeah, a lot of responses said he's driven, hardworking. Like a few said he's a little, stubborn in so many words, but that's not the worst thing for a CEO. Yeah, one guy pointed out, well, he said he was really excited about this. He did point out that, coming from the sales side, he's not sure if he's going to get the logistics and if he's going to get the brewery side of things, but I think he's done more than just that. So, I mean, largely a really good response so far.
I think any CEO is unless you're Norman Adamy, you're not going to have that logistics side, engineering, if you will, background. There's just not many CEOs who have that. So I'd much rather have a sales and marketing type person in that position than. But you're right, that is the challenge that they're facing at the moment, and it's bad, and doesn't seem to be getting any better. So Jordan, what are your?
Well, I can't hear everything, so I don't know what has been said, but I think one thing is you can see Michelle. You can see Michelle's fingerprints nominating someone within U.S. and you can already see a difference between Brito and Michelle. I think that's interesting. I think also if Michelle got the top position and him and Brendan came in at the same time, their successes are kind of parallel, and it just makes sense for Brendan to take that position. But I have a little pop quiz for Harry and Jenn.
Sweet.
So, since okay, so we're gonna see who's been running point on the U.S. division since August Bush. Okay.
Oh shit! This is Harry's. Joao.
August Bush the third or the fourth? The fourth. Okay, because it was August Bush the third, then Pat Stokes, then August Bush the fourth, then Dave Peacock. Dave Peacock went through the transition a little bit, and then next was Dave Almeida. No.
Luis.
Next was
Luis
Edmond. And then after Luis Edmond, I know. One is the guy before Michelle. Who is it, Jen?
Joao.
Wow, of course. I love Joao. I can't believe. I'm sorry,
really
Joao,
nice
if you're one of the three people that say to this. I forgot. And then after Joao was Michelle, and now Brendan. So quite a few people. And how many years is that?
Ooh,
2008 to 2021, so 13 years.
Wow.
13 years, 5 people.
Oh yeah. So
sorry.
Go ahead,
I was
Jen.
just saying that. I mean, the thing about Brendan is he's really approachable. He's a nice guy, and that was part of the
not when we were fighting. He wasn't.
So, okay, people who read know this. We misspelled his name. We botched the heck out of it, and one time, a long time ago. And we promised him the keys, the golden keys. And I think now would be a good time for him to take that over. I think it would be good for both of us because that'd be fun. But, he wasn't a jerk about it. He just kind of laughed it off. And I think that's going to be, an interesting guy at the top post, the kind of guy who can do that at AB.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's the first CEO of AB since Dave Peacock, who I communicate with semi-regularly. I have an actual relationship with, and I did a little bit with Joao. Okay, well, this podcast is a technical nightmare. Although I think we got our points across. This is our first in the field podcast, and there are challenges. We got to get our equipment a little better, and we need to. Not share headphones and speakers and mics, and we will go to the gift shop and get that all fixed before tomorrow's podcast. And so, Jen, I'll let you have the last word.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I will say that I'd like to challenge Brendan to a workout off because he was in the service and I go pretty hard at Orange Theory. So maybe that'll be the next pod. All right.
Great points as usual, Jen. I have no idea what you said, but I'll listen to it when I edit.
You're going to be surprised. You're going to love it.
To a workout. What, with a shake weight? You're the shake weight girl.
Long story.
Jen took shake weights on a trip with her, like
To
40-pound
Dogfish
shake
Head.
weights.
To Dogfish Head.
On a
Of
trip
course.
in her suitcase. Anyway,
Yeah,
we
on a
want to
Greyhound.
save the fun stories for later. All right, guys. Well, this is a short one, but we'll be back tomorrow with some more highlights and from Vegas. And Jen, thanks for hopping on a late hour. And we'll shout at you later. And don't forget, thank you for drinking beer.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye, Jenny. Jenny on the
Bye-bye.
block.